Who's hungry? The Deli's open. Hey guys, let the madness begin. March Madness starts in full force. We've got 4 days of the opening round, second round action. This is the most exciting time of the year, and we're back with another edition of Marco's Deli. I'm Marco D'Angelo. Thanks for joining me. We're going to have two parts to today's show. First part is I'm going to give you some angles to use in tournament action, so help you pick some games on your own. And then on the second half of today's show, I'm going to go ahead and give you 3 picks for games over the next 2 days. Let's get it started, guys. And let's start with some things that apply in the tournament, things that I like to look at. One of the things is, guys, if you see a team that plays in the first round of the tournament and they have a nail biter, these teams, they battle right down to the end. I like to take those teams in the next game. Oftentimes, the betting market will go against those teams and say they were lucky to win. They barely got past their opponent. But I look at it the totally opposite way. The fact that they were able to win a tight game in the tournament tells me they're already been there and done that. If they're in another close game versus a team that's been having blowouts, they've got the advantage because they've already felt the pressure of those final 2-3 minutes of a game where every bucket mattered. So I like to take those teams coming off those close games. Another one is we're going to have a lot of big favorites in the first round. When you move to the second round, some of these big favorites are going to have those close games and scares. I like to take the good team that had a scare in the previous round. Why? Well, because it's a wake-up call. A lot of times you look past your opponent and you put in a lackluster performance. But when you get that scare, man, you're all business. The next day in practice, the coaches are drilling you. You also will find it will get some line value because the betting market overreacts to what they saw last. That's another angle that I like to use. Both of those are things that you would look at in the Saturday and Sunday games of this week. Now, one thing that you will look at in the Thursday, Friday games is the first round unders, first half. And why I like this angle is you're going to have teams playing in venues they've never played before. A lot of times they're going to be playing in bigger arenas, not gymnasiums that they're used to playing for basketball, the smaller venues where the sight lines are different. A lot of times it takes the teams a while to get adjusted to playing in that new arena and shooting the basketball and scoring. Also, you have teams oftentimes that first game in the big dance, they're a little tight, they're a little nervous, they got the butterflies, and they start the game out slow. Or you've had 4 or 5 days to prepare for your opponent. A lot of times coaches will change things up. They'll do something different defensively, and it takes teams a while to adjust to what they're doing differently before they start attacking it and scoring. All of those things contribute to many times having slow starts in these first round games. So if you're looking for some plays, look at some good defensive teams in those first round games on Thursday and Friday and take a look at some unders in the first round. That is another good angle. Okay, before we get to the free plays, I got 3 of them for you on the Deli this week. Want to tell you, if you made it this far on the video and you like the information that I'm sharing with you, do me a favor. Give me a thumbs up. It really helps the channel out. Leave a comment, anything. Tell me who you think's going to win it all. I want to hear who your Final Four is. Drop me a comment. All those things help out the channel, guys. I appreciate it. And if you guys are interested in jumping on board with me, you know we've had a great 14-month run at WagerTalk. We've got a special going right now at WagerTalk where you can pick up the month of April. Why am I talking about April? This is March. Well, listen, this is why. If you buy April now, in April, we'll have hockey playoffs, NBA playoffs, and it will also have the start of Major League Baseball. You'll get all of that in April, $299. But when you buy April now, we'll throw in the rest of March free. That's getting you the tournament for free. All of my plays. And guys, we are going to have a 5% play, major wager, in the opening round of the tournament. You know, those plays by themselves sell for $35, and we are 24-7 with those 5% plays. Check it out. Head over to WagerTalk.com, and you can see that special on my homepage. Pick up April for $299, and I'll give you the rest of March. All right, let's get into some of those free picks. Now, the first one I'm going to give you, we're going to give you 2 plays, and it involves the same 2 teams that played against each other in their last game, and I'll explain why. Gonzaga and St. Mary's met up in the West Coast Conference championship game here in Las Vegas a little over a week ago. Gonzaga won that game 58-51. It was a big win for Gonzaga. They won the West Coast Conference tournament when St. Mary's won the regular season title. St. Mary's had beaten them in both games during the regular season. Gonzaga came to play in that game. They did not want to get swept all 3 games from St. Mary's, plus the fact that St. Mary's not only won those 2 games this year, but it was St. Mary's that beat them in the championship game last year for the West Coast Conference tournament. So Gonzaga had something to prove, and they came and they played well. Great defensive game from them, and it was, quite frankly, the worst game of the season for St. Mary's shooting-wise. They only shot 38% in that game, and they were 0 for 16 from three-point range. The other problem in that game for St. Mary's, and maybe they came into that one just a little too fat and sassy, they had won 18 in a row, is they turned the ball over 18 times. Now, this is a team that generally only turned the ball over between 7 and 9 times per contest. So it was definitely a sloppy game by St. Mary's. With all of that said, St. Mary's only lost by 7 points. They still played great defense. This team plays great defense as they have held opponents to under 60 points numerous times. In fact, they've held 12 straight opponents to 67 or fewer points. In 7 of those 12 opponents, they didn't even reach 60. They held them into the 50s. So here's what I'm going to give you. 2 plays. We're going to go against Gonzaga. All right. I don't see Gonzaga delivering the same type of effort that they had in the West Coast Conference championship game. I think they're overvalued. I think the line is too high here. I'm going to take Georgia plus the points against Gonzaga. That game's on Thursday. Then on Friday, we're going to take St. Mary's. St. Mary's minus the points against Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's going to have a tough time against that defense, and Vanderbilt's defense is not good. St. Mary's will have success against them, as Vanderbilt has allowed 7 of the last 12 opponents to shoot 51% or better from the floor. And I look for a big effort from St. Mary's off of that loss. And you know what? I think it actually was the best thing for St. Mary's, is they had won 18 in a row. It's better to lose a game when they did, rather get that out of the way and then head back into the tournament starting fresh. And the St. Mary's team made the tournament last year. They didn't last long, but they made the tournament. And that experience will help them this year, as this is a senior-laden team. The 5 starters on this team, 3 of them are seniors, 2 of them being guards and the center. And you want that experience in the front court with the guards handling the basketball. That is what wins you basketball games in March, is guard play and defense. And St. Mary's is loaded in that regard. So we're going to go against Gonzaga, take Georgia plus the points, and take St. Mary's minus the points. Now, for the third game that we're going to take, I'm going to give you North Carolina. North Carolina won the play-in game. And yes, I know North Carolina, a lot of people said they probably weren't going to make the tournament. Maybe they didn't deserve to make the tournament. They had a bad record against quad 1 teams during the regular season and all of that. But here's the thing. They got into the tournament. All right. They won that play-in game. The fact that they played that game, people think of that as a negative. They had to play on Tuesday. Now they got to turn around and play on Thursday. The quick turnaround, an extra game. No, that's a benefit. They already got a game in under their belt. Any butterflies that they had, that's gone. They had a game experience of playing where Ole Miss has got to come in fresh and play. I like North Carolina to get the job done. Yeah, everybody was singing the praises of the SEC and all the teams that they got into the big dance. But if you look, a lot of those teams, the lines are basically pick the winner, or a lot of them are coming up as underdogs. And we're going to find out and see how the SEC actually fares with all those teams in the big dance. I think North Carolina advances here. Maybe we'll go against them in the next round, but I will be looking at North Carolina to win their first round game after winning the play-in game. That's it for this week's Marco's Deli. I hope you enjoyed the video. Again, if you like what we're doing here, do me a favor, give me the thumbs up. It helps the channel. And I want to hear from you. Tell me who your Final Four is and who you think's cutting down the nets that final Monday championship game. I want to hear your picks as well. Good luck with all of your plays this weekend. I'll be back with you guys with another edition of Marco's Deli next week. We'll preview the Sweet 16.